Generally speaking, most superpowers are fairly well known. Spider-Man sticks to walls, Professor X has telepathy, Superman has every power ever, and Batman has infinitely deep pockets. That being said, there are numerous smaller hidden powers that the casual audience may not know about. Sometimes they're cool and interesting, other times they're laughable and confusing. Here's our list of 10 surprising hidden superpowers. Superman's telepathy. We had to start this list with some overcompensating from Superman. Not content with having all the cool powers in one go, at one time, Supes even had telepathy. Not only that, but it was at one point claimed that Superman's ability to fly was achieved through Superman performing telepathy on himself. We are assuming that the writers didn't understand the difference between telepathy and telekinesis, as this explanation of Superman's flight actually makes less sense than him just inexplicably being able to fly. It's not the only crazy power Superman has had though. He has also sported telescopic vision, shape-shifting powers, and even self-duplication powers. While we certainly love the Man of Steel, it does get a little grating sometimes that he seemingly has every power in the book. Thankfully, in recent years, Superman's powers have been reined in a lot more, making him slightly less overpowered than before. Wolverine's bone claws. Hardcore fans will likely already know this, but Wolverine actually has bone claws underneath his metal claws, which were themselves only gloves when the character debuted in The Incredible Hulk. Part of the reason this isn't as well known is due to the fact that it's a fairly recent addition to the comic books. At one point in the comics, it finally dawned on Magneto that he is the master of magnetism, and Logan's skeleton is laced with metal. As such, he did what you'd think he would have done a long time ago. He ripped the adamantium from Wolverine's skeleton. For a while, this left Logan without any claws, until eventually, thanks to his healing factor, they regrew. It was then revealed that the claws were actually part of Wolverine's mutation all along, and they were not something added by the Weapon X program as we've been previously left to believe. Squirrel Girl. First introduced in Marvel Superheroes Volume 2, Number 8, Squirrel Girl's very existence comes with a bunch of powers hidden to many. The official babysitter of Luke Cage and Jessica Jones' daughter, Squirrel Girl's powers are obvious. She has a 3-foot-long prehensile tail, buck teeth allowing her a mean bite, has great climbing ability, and generally has squirrel-related powers. Maybe it's because we think of squirrels being cute, but somehow this theme just doesn't work quite as well as Spider-Man or Scorpion. All intimidation aside, Squirrel Girl is actually a better fighter than you believe at first. Not only that, but she has the ability to command an army of squirrels, which in the past have been used to defeat Doctor Doom of all people. While we're not exactly sure how much sense this makes, we do know that it's going to be frustratingly hard to look at Doctor Doom the same way now that we know that Rocky has kicked his ass. Beast Boy's half transforming. We all know that Beast Boy, who's probably best known for his role in the Teen Titans TV show, has the ability to transform into any living thing he sees, regardless of whether it's a lion, a Tyrannosaurus Rex, or even an alien. The side of that fans often miss, however, is that Beast Boy also has the ability to half transform. For example, should he need to swim and manipulate objects, he could quite easily transform his lower half to that of a shark or octopus, while leaving his upper half his usual elf-looking self. This aspect of his powers actually can make him a little more useful. It allows him to really become pretty much anything he wants within reason. Now we just have to sit back and wait for Beast Boy to save the day while in the form of a green centaur. The Joker's super sanity. One of the theories most played with regarding the Joker is his super sanity. While not an outright superpower in and of itself, Grant Morrison in his graphic novel Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth, and in his run on Batman, proposed the idea that Joker is super sane. As the Joker is clearly not insane, something the comic books make very clear, it has been proposed that the Joker is so sane that it's impossible for us to conceive it. This is why he's constantly claims to be insane, something insane people do not do, and why no treatment seems to work on him. To the Joker, the rest of the world looks a bit crazy. Needless to say, this has sprouted numerous fan theories. The most popular of these theories is that the Joker is in fact so sane that he realizes he is in a comic book, and that is why he is so violent and cruel. He knows that none of them exist, so why should it matter? While that is just a fan theory, it's rooted in some very interesting comic book lore. Bigby Wolf's reverse lycanthropy. Fables is by far one of DC's most popular comics, despite featuring no superheroes. It does feature some superpowered characters, however, including the hero Bigby Wolf, aka the Big Bad Wolf. Bigby was the son of both a wolf and the North Wind, with huge imposing size, the power to huff, puff, and blow houses down, and the ability to change between a man and beast. While you would imagine that the chain-smoking sheriff, who transforms into both Wolfman and Giant Wolf, would be a werewolf, this is not the case. Bigby is actually a reverse lycanthrope. Rather than being a man who becomes a wolf, he is a wolf that becomes a man. It was only after being stabbed with a lycanthropy-stained blade that Bigby was able to take the form of a human, allowing him to stay off the farm and patrolling the streets as the sheriff of Fabletown. Nightcrawler's super spatial awareness. Ever wonder why Nightcrawler never accidentally teleports himself into a wall? The reason is actually quite simple. In addition to being able to stick to walls, teleport, and have a really cool tail, Nightcrawler also has super spatial awareness, meaning he always has a rough idea of the space he is going to teleport into. This means that Kurt Wagner, while only being able to teleport short distances, has complete freedom when it comes to teleporting around. He knows he's safe, and this lets him fight alongside the X-Men. It's a pretty logical power, seen as if you misjudge the distance you are going to teleport to by an inch, you could end up in a lot of trouble. This power also allows the blue elf to move and fight freely, being able to teleport and auto-maneuver dozens of men at a time, as well as defeat other mutants with relative ease. And let's not forget, it makes for a pretty cool circus trick. Daredevil's atmosphere detection. Remember what we said about Nightcrawler teleporting? Daredevil can sense that before Kurt has even got to the room. Daredevil's supreme senses are well known by fans, but it goes well beyond touch, sound, and smell. Daredevil can detect minute changes in the atmosphere, so when characters such as Nightcrawler teleport, they create a slight change in the atmosphere around them, which Daredevil can sense. Couple that with the aforementioned amazing smell, hearing, and touch, and you've got a character who is very hard to sneak up on. It's very hard to fool his radar, and even if you can, he's one of the best hand-to-hand fighters that Marvel has to offer. It's powers like this, which are why Daredevil's radar sense far exceed Peter Parker's spider sense. Daredevil, despite being blind, is in many ways able to see more of the world than anyone else. He experiences everything but sight, and while we know he'd love to look at the sky again, the gifts he does have make for an incredible crime fighter. Matter Eater Lad. He can eat anything. We're not really sure what else to say. Matter Eater Lad can eat anything he wants, and has the tooth and jaw strength to bite into anything he wants. This allows him to perform various superhero acts, such as eating burgers, eating fences. You get the idea. All joking aside, we're sure you'd want Matter Eater Lad on your side if you needed to spring someone out of jail. It's quite difficult to make Matter Eater Lad sound cool, which is probably why he very rarely appears in comics, but we couldn't make a list of surprising hidden powers without including him. Maybe he needs to be a villain. That way his ability to eat everything would make him more of a threat than a laughingstock. If Killer Croc can scare people with the threat of a bite, maybe we can go one further and make Matter Eater Lad a terrifying henchman for someone like Lex Luthor. Aquaman's impenetrable skin. Aquaman has a tough time being taken seriously due to people misunderstanding how his powers work. Aside from having telepathic ability that allows him to influence those around him, including humans, despite him being known more for manipulating sea life, he also has nearly impenetrable skin. Due to living deep under the sea, Aquaman's Atlantean skin has adapted for the powerful pressure of the ocean. This means that when he's walking around on land, he's damn near impossible to stab. That, coupled with immense super strength and endurance that comes from living under the water and being able to swim at sonic speeds. Not to mention having a trident that can pierce Superman's skin. Aquaman is the second strongest member of the Justice League after the Man of Steel himself. Now we all have to hope that the DCEU will break the habit and do Aquaman justice when the new movie comes out. Are there any powers you think we should have included? We know that Superman could probably fill a list all on his own. Leave a comment and let us know. If you like this video, give a thumbs up and check out the rest of our channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to CBR for cool vids about movies, action heroes, gaming, comics, and more.